Seems to me like it's a very good time to address a particular energy called hope. People have hope in so many different ways, and they also feel like their hopes are dashed, crashed. And I wanted to address it from a very formal, as we've been taught, way that will make all the difference in terms of hope in the future. Two energies are needed for hope to work in a person's life. We obviously know that blind faith and blind hope doesn't really go that far. Sometimes we are lucky, we have a stroke of luck that meets us halfway, or what we term as luck. Well, hope is not really like it. It's a very well designed and created and orchestrated energy. It has purpose, it has design, a divine design. It's not this innocuous, wafty religious term that helps people get through hard times. It has a fundamental, beautiful, creative design. The first part of the design of hope comes from the expectations of people. What people work hard to achieve. So people work really, really hard. They put effort in, they make, they design, they think of, they structure, they organize, they gather, they dream, they fantasize, they pull all these things together in the hope that it delivers something substantial. They even save money and resources. So hope has a very physical or tangible or actionable part in terms of the human being. It's your side. It's you going half the way or 50% of the way towards what it is that you're looking for. And your expectations are really important in this half of the energy of hope. As long as your expectations are not way out of the ballpark and they're reasonable according to the effort you've made, the dreams you've had, and what you've put into it, that measure of expectation is the first half of the energy of hope. And you can count on it. You know it's a very tangible part. You can measurably say that I have put this and this into it, and I hope for a wonderful outcome. But there's another part to hope, and the other part is very interesting, because the other part is what meets you halfway, and that's usually from the other side of what we call the veil, from God, from the goddess, from the divine, from the source, whatever your ontology is and whatever your beliefs are. This is the other part that comes halfway to meet you. And it takes faith, and not just blind faith. Blind faith would be hoping on that part, but you haven't put any effort in on this part, on the expectations and the effort required. There's always a meeting point between the two. So usually where hope goes awry or goes wrong is that people have a strong leaning towards one of the halves, and the other half, the other 50%, is negligible. So it's very customary for human beings on earth to put a lot of energy into a project, into a dream, to make it happen themselves. 100% coming from them, effort-based. And very little part of them includes the other half, the beautiful anticipation of what comes from the divine, from the source, from the God, from spiritual means. That part that brings the magic, the life, the flow, that ignites it, that suddenly causes it to burst into flames, to flourish, to take off, to become 100 times more than what you ever dreamt. That energy is not one that you can effort and work for. That is the part of you that has to receive the gift of life, or the gift from the divine or the source, towards what it is that you have been putting effort in. So when you've only got one side of it, and it's all about your effort and your effort alone, you're going to find that an uphill struggle for a long time may eventually get you where you want to be. On the other side, there are those that live in a blind faith, or they just anticipate something to come from God or the source or the divine. Yet they don't take a step here on earth. They don't make any effort. They don't put time. They don't put money. They don't put in what they need to put in to go halfway towards that 50% mark. They just expect to be given, to it arrive on the doorstep. They just expect they'll get it for nothing. They don't have to do anything. You know, even going into meditation every day for 15 minutes or into prayer for 15 minutes every day is giving something. It's feeding the dream. Even that is taking action. So there has to be a 50% effort from your side in some way, and also the acceptance of receiving that energy of hope that it will come to pass. There are no question marks in terms of the divine. There are no question marks. All things are answered. All things are done. It is. There is no open-ended anything. It's from our side that things are open-ended, unsure, that we're cautious, that with these question marks that we don't really know if it'll happen, and then we start to doubt. So when our doubt starts to catch up upon us, it's the optimum time where you then cross that line into the hope that belongs in the hands of divinity, of God, Goddess, or the source. And then you sit in that faith, knowing that you have done what you've done and there is no more that you can do physically and tangibly. And then you wait and you practice what we would call patience, which is a particular place in the human brain. Practice patience. Have the faith, knowing that you've done everything you could do, and now it's just a waiting game, because you need to receive it the minute it arrives. It gathers the right amount of energy, and boy, it arrives on your doorstep as a wonderful, wonderful gift. So if you want to work with the energy of hope, make sure that you have these two in balance. Enjoy your week.